The weight of the first mountain. The rookie's reign. The sky over Oregon didn't just turn gray, it turned a bruised, heavy purple that seemed to press down on the roof of Leo's Freightliner. He was 24 years old, 3 weeks out of CDL school, and currently descending the notorious Cabbage Hill. In the classroom, the 6% grade was a statistic on a whiteboard. Out here, with 80,000 pounds of frozen poultry pushing against his back, it felt like a descent into the mouth of a monster. Leo's knuckles were white, his fingers locked around the steering wheel so tightly they had begun to cramp. This was his first solo run. The independence he had craved while sitting in a cubicle months prior now felt like a heavy cloak of terror. The rain began as a drizzle, but quickly evolved into a horizontal assault. The wind buffeted the trailer, and for a terrifying second, Leo felt the tires lose their bite on the asphalt. His stomach did a slow, nauseating flip. In his side mirrors, the world was nothing but spray and shadow. He looked at the runaway truck ramp signs passing by and felt a desperate urge to simply pull over, set the brakes, and walk away from the industry forever. "I can't do this," he whispered, his voice cracking. "I'm not a trucker. I'm just a kid in a big seat." Then, through the static of his panic, his mentor's voice echoed in his head. Old Pete, a man who had 4 million miles under his belt and smelled permanently of diesel and peppermint, had told him on their last day together. "The road doesn't care if you're scared, Leo. It only cares if you're steady. Fear is just a passenger. Don't let it take the wheel." Leo took a jagged breath and forced himself to exhale slowly. He didn't focus on the bottom of the mountain. He focused on the next 100 yards. He dropped a gear, feeling the mechanical tension rise, and let the engine brake roar to life. The Jake brake was a violent, comforting thunder that told him the machine was still under his control. He stopped fighting the wind and started dancing with it, small, rhythmic corrections rather than panic jerks. He realized that the truck wasn't his enemy. It was a tool that required a calm hand to function. By the time the grade leveled out and the road straightened into the valley, the torrential downpour had tapered off into a soft mist. A sliver of gold light broke through the clouds, illuminating the wet pavement like a silver ribbon. Leo pulled into a rest area, his legs shaking as he stepped out of the cab. He walked to the back of his trailer and placed a hand on the cold metal. He hadn't just moved freight from point A to point B. He had moved past the boundaries of his own soul. The moral lesson: growth only happens when the comfort of the cab meets the chaos of the elements. Perseverance is not the absence of fear, but the decision to drop a gear and keep moving when